This is Tonight. I'm Bruce Whitfield. Good evening, and tonight I'm joined by Selebogo Molefe, who was once a frustrated entrepreneur until developing the Hookup Dinner. It's a social event that not only listens to frustrated entrepreneurs, but also provides a platform for them to grow and pitch their businesses. When did that start? It's about less than a year old.
August of 2012.
Okay, August of 2012, so you're going on for 2 years now with Hookup Dinners. The origin of it is you started a business, you crashed and burned like many great entrepreneurs do on their first, second and third attempts, but you did it once. And you thought to yourself, hold on a second, there's got to be some kind of Oprah Winfrey support group mechanism I can start. Tell me about it.
Yeah, well, the reason I started was because of the many failures before that. I've started a couple of startups.
Many failures?
Many, extremely dismal ones too.
Okay.
But the reason for the Hookup Dinner coming about was to sort that out. I mean, to create a network where we could all connect, engage, and contribute to each other's success. And it just picked up. I think it arrived at the right time, the right place.
What was the first business that crashed and burned?
We're manufacturing beanbags.
Okay.
And funny enough, it came back. So it's doing better now after we got training.
But that's the difference, isn't it? I mean, you think, oh, beanbags, everybody likes a beanbag. Maybe you can sell beanbags easily enough. What went wrong first time around? Cash
flow and understanding the market. So access to markets, access to the right customers, and the sustainability of the business. Those are big things.
What year was that?
This was 2004.
Okay, so you've been trying and failing for a long time.
A very long time.
Okay, so beanbags went into hibernation for a decade and have made a comeback. We'll talk about that in just a moment. What was next?
Next, it was a consulting firm where I tried to register small businesses and get them compliant so that they could get into supply chain opportunities. Got it wrong.
Did you get it wrong, or was the environment that you were operating in just so completely impenetrable that it was impossible even for an expert?
I think I got it wrong.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. I mean, there's a lot of startups, there's a lot of small businesses that are not compliant. And if you go to the DTI or to SARS, there's a lot of bribery going on there. And I almost fell into the same trap. And I realized that I'm saying I'm helping startups or helping small businesses to get compliant, but I need to be paying a jojo to somebody for that to happen, to fast track the process, and therefore that's why I dropped it.
But it's tragic, isn't it? I mean, here these are the mechanisms that are supposed to be facilitating the creation of the engine rooms of growth of the future, and they're as corrupt as the day is long.
It's terrible. It's just one of those things.
So you go to that and the consulting firm doesn't work out. At what point do you go off to the Branson Institute and go, help please?
Actually, I applied at the Branson Center when they opened in Braamfontein, which was in 2011, using the consulting firm. So that's how I got through the door. And once I was inside, I realized that, wait a minute, my beanbag business has got a chance here.
But so many great ideas do have a chance, but you've got to be managed properly. So did the beanbag business then once again supplant consulting, and beanbags are the kernel now of your business? How's it going?
It's going okay. I mean, if you look at all the Hookup Dinners across the country, you will find beanbags everywhere.
So basically you're supplying yourself.
Yes. As well as using that as a marketing platform for the product. And I mean, we're supplying quite a few corporates that are doing large-scale events. And we've got a couple of resellers in Namibia, in Botswana, as well as in Zimbabwe, people that are just taking onto the product and they're selling it to their own local markets.
But that's the Life is Good business, which is then supplying it to events and all of that sort of thing. Back to Hookup Dinners then, and the cross-promotion of businesses. The first Hookup Dinner was when?
It was on the 2nd of August in 2012.
That was in Braamfontein as well, wasn't it?
In Braamfontein, in a very small Japanese noodle bar. There were about 8 of us sitting there, and just as friends. It was that social club where we could take off our masks and be real about what was going on, the conditions that we're doing business in, and the not so great stories that we're going through. So
but was the intention of that first gathering, did you call it the Hookup Dinner?
Yeah.
That was the intention, right from the very start. We got to create a network of people, like-minded individuals, like-minded problems, like-minded issues that we face. We're going to try and resolve these as a collective.
Yeah, I mean, initially it was literally a social club, and the reason I called it the Hookup Dinner was purely just, it was a hookup network. Let's share resources and networks, and we stumbled upon some of the solutions that we've come up with, and it's been a great journey in that sense because it's an evolving process. We're coming across problems and then we're finding creative ways of solving them.
Okay, so you have the first Hookup Dinner, 8 people come to it.
Yeah.
I guess then the news spreads like wildfire because everyone's got a network.
Yep.
And you tell 8 people, who tell 8 people, who tell 8 people, the multiplier effect has got to be huge. How big are the Hookup Dinners in Braamfontein now?
They're not even in Braamfontein anymore. They couldn't contain us.
Yeah.
On average, we get about 500 to 600 RSVPs. We can only take 300 people at a time. We do it in Maboneng Precinct at a place called Open, which is a collaborative network, co-working space. And that is the beauty of it, the fact that others tell others. And we all, when we get together there, we're not getting together because we're looking for funding. It's initially about the network itself. Everybody's beating somebody else and they're collaborating, they're sharing ideas. And
is it as effective with 300 people as it is with 8 or 18 or 80? Doesn't it lose its impact as it gets bigger?
It did at some point, especially around our first year anniversary, because we're just getting so big so fast. And what we had to put measures into place, and this is where I say we stumble upon solutions. We started thinking, okay, how do we bring it back its authenticity so that people don't feel like this is just another social gathering? So we've put mechanisms in place. We've got a programmatic approach to how we do the event over 2 hours. You do walk out having known at least 10 new people, and that is the big thing for us. If we can help people to break that barrier of getting to know other people.
This is like small business speed dating.
Yes, it is.
Describe it to me.
So the first part of the program, for instance, is about elevator pitches. Entrepreneurs pitch and the network gives you feedback. So
30 seconds? How long do you give them for the elevator pitch?
So for us, it's 180 seconds.
Geez, it's a big building. It's an Empire State Building elevator pitch, okay.
And we do it on purpose because it's a platform where you get to test your ideas and as well as your confidence skills, your communication skills. So the audience giving you feedback, it's not an investor. It's your peers. It's a peer-to-peer review mechanism. And then you get the speed dating element of it. We call it a networking mixer, where we ensure that out of the group of 10 where people are now doing the speed dating thing, everybody's got a chance. Not everybody's got a strong sense of, like I think you met a skinny spool. He's very loud and he knows how to work a room. But
well, he's a supermodel, isn't he? So I mean, he sells himself. Well, he used to be a model. I don't know about super, but certainly he used to be a model. He's got a physical presence about him. He's got a way about him.
Yes.
So certainly he's got a level of confidence, which so much of it is. And I mean, you look at the TED Talks, for example, and you read the books about the TED Talks and the ability to communicate and present convincingly with passion and with feeling.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is that. You talk about the fact that it's not about funding, because funding, a lot of people blame funding for their business failures. I don't think you've had any funding as you've gone along, have you?
So we've partnered with a couple of major brands, like your SABs and Standard Banks, where the reason they were attracted to us, everybody's looking for a pipeline that they can feed into their supply chain or into their ED programs. And they're not quite sure where to find these entrepreneurs. So again, we stumbled upon a beautiful problem here where we could supply that, and we could also offer opportunities for these big brands to get access to this network of entrepreneurs.
So they pay for the party, for the gatherings, for the networking opportunities, and through that they get access to people that they should be funding ordinarily, but just simply don't know how to find.
Yeah.
And how's that working out in terms of the members then of the hookups?
I mean, we've had quite a few interesting stories. I mean, Skinny Spoo, for instance, is one of our proud success stories. When he came in, he had started his business about 5 months before, and we were hosting a festival with the Branson Center, and he came and he pitched. And that's what it took, and he got exposure, and he came again, and it didn't even win on the platform. But after a couple of times, we happened to be featured by CNN, and Skinny Spoo was there, and when we exposed him to that platform, now things changed all of a sudden, and he could get into a couple of supply chain programs that were available.
But this is an organic approach. I mean, this has happened through need, through desperation, through a desire to make a difference.
Yeah.
Any support at all from the DTI through this process?
So we've engaged the Minister of Small Business, and we currently...
Lindiwe Zulu, has she been to a hookup dinner?
Yes, she actually gave a keynote last year, August. It was beautiful because she was so authentic about it. We were expecting a politician, but she came and she was a person who says, I've taken this office and this is where I am with my problems, and I'm looking for solutions, and this is why I'm out here talking to you people. And it was refreshing because entrepreneurs did not feel like they were being lied to. And that has allowed us, it has opened the door to engage further, to find out how we can assist the business.
Entrepreneurs didn't feel they were being lied to, which implies that most of the time you feel like you're being led up the garden path somehow.
Yeah, in fact, I mean, there's so much funding that is available, and if you go and apply to one of these government agencies, you just, it never sees the light of day because you don't know somebody within those things, and that's the face of what we are trying to change really with some of our partnerships.
Okay, so you're working through it. You say, okay, there's a network there which you don't feel you have access to. So create your own networks, create your own opportunities.
Yeah.
How then is this helping the beanbag business, other than the fact that you're supplying your own beanbags to your networks across the country?
In a major way. I mean, we moved from manufacturing about 5,000. Now we do about 10,000 per annum, and we're just strengthening our manufacturing base. And once we are sorted, we're pretty sure we could easily be doing about 100,000 that we could supply to some of the European markets where there's a big demand for it. But it's been an issue of capacity on our side, as well as understanding of export markets, and so it's a process of getting trained, of getting mentored, and there's all sorts of things.
When we look at the hookup dinners, though, it starts with 8 people in Bloemfontein. It's now 600 RSVPs, 300 people allowed in Maboneng. How many more of these hookup dinners are you doing around the country?
We've got 4 cities that are active on a monthly basis. That is Pretoria, Joburg, Cape Town, and Durban. And then we've got satellite cities like Nairobi. We do about four a year. We've got Kigali, where we've done pilot. We've got Israel, where we launched a pilot last year as well. So it's a nice expansion. It's just spreading like wildfire in a beautiful way. Botswana is also an active one, where we're doing about 2 cities in Botswana, Francistown as well as Gaborone.
Now, are these then specifically local dinners, or are you now going to go and do the cross-border hookups and do that sort of thing as well?
That's where we're headed. We've launched something we call the THAT visa. So that is acronyms for the hookup dinner. Yeah. And what the visa is meant to do really, it's meant to create market access opportunities for startups across borders. So if I'm in Nairobi and I've spotted an opportunity in Johannesburg, when I get here, it shouldn't be so hard as a startup. I've got a network, a soft landing pad, and if I need a hot desking space from where to start these things, I've got that. And as well as the network, where do I go, who do I get in touch with? We're trying to create that, and through a membership-based platform. I
wish you the best with it. It sounds absolutely wonderful. And in less than 2 years, the hookup dinner has gone viral, not only across big centres in South Africa, but across the African continent and into Israel as well. Selebogo Molefe, Chief Executive of lifesgood.com, founder and member of the Hookup Dinners. You and I will hook up again tomorrow. Until we hook up again, thanks for coming in. Until next time, bye-bye.